Hello,
All right, we are
hello.
on YouTube.
We're ready?
We are.
Okay, guys. Thanks for being here, taking your time out of your busy schedule to spend a couple minutes with me. This is usually about 15, 20 minutes long. May not be as long today. But today I want to talk about what's happening out in the business person's eyes financially, how the financial markets are making a big difference in what business people think about funding. And it's interesting that what they're saying, which I'll show you in a moment. And then I'm going to just talk about the bare minimum you should be doing every single week. There's no need to even get on these trainings if you're not going to go, or even really consider yourself uh, a broker for funding if you're not going to do the bare minimum every single day. And I'll go over that in just a moment. But what I want to do right now is I'm going to share my screen. And there you go. So you can see my screen, right,
Yep, we
Morgan?
can. Yep.
One of our A lenders every year about this time, they go through what they call a surveying process and polling all their client base to what in the world are they thinking these days about funding and running their business and that sort of thing. And while the state of the 2024 economy didn't seem to materially impact business owners' desire to invest in their businesses, it does seem to influence how they are investing. Over 53% of respondents agreed that the state of the economy influences their decision to seek additional funding. So right now, people are just up in the air, not sure, but despite the need for capital, and probably 82% of all the business people agree they got to have capital to grow their business. They're going to need it either to probably 40% of them are going to need it today, and up to 70% are going to need it in the next 3 to 6 months. Despite all of that, needing the capital, 46% of the business owners stated that the access to capital would be the biggest challenge over the next 12 months. Because as we tell you in all of our marketing materials, that banks are great for 20%, but 80% of them, they're not going to really be able to help. And if you'll go out and do the bare minimum, work your warm market, do the meet, greet, and inform, and then of course you've got the Facebook ads and all that stuff that you guys are running and online ads, and of course if you're doing the bare minimum, I'm getting ready to go over, and you're also out there running ads, and you're also out there joining memberships like chambers or associations and BNI, even doing a direct mail campaign, then you're probably going to be incredibly successful if you're doing all of that. But the 5 daily activities that we talk about all the time is text messaging, email, social media, phone calls, and connect cards. The connect cards, meet, greet, and inform, are absolutely vital. These things you should be doing a little bit every day. And of course, joining chambers. We're still reimbursing for chamber home builders, BNI memberships. So if you go out and you do these things, and you become a member and you get active in the community, you're going to see results. But if you haven't done it, or either you join the chamber, you never go to meetings, you're never, ever, ever going to be able to go in and poach their membership just because you're a member. They're going to have to see you at these events and see you participating in all this. And I still say Valpaks are a great lead source. I mean, you can get about 30 to 40 leads out of that every single month. And what you're going to have to do is go through the scripts that I won't bore you again today in talking about those, but go through those scripts with those people on the Valpak. Well, let me just quickly do one so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. I get a Valpak. I see that it's a small business person in the roofing industry. I just call them up and say, "Hey, my name is Wade, and I got this Valpak advertisement about your roofing business. man, you guys are all over Greenville. Do you actually work in the Spartanburg area and other, maybe a little bit further down in the low country? I'm just kind of wondering where you work, because I got a lot of friends that might be able to use this. And do you mind if I go ahead and tell them about what we do, and you have a little conversation, and then you say, well, listen, my name is Wade. I am the funding director for this particular area. I am over all the funding for David Allen Capital, and I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that if you ever have a great idea, or maybe you just need to make payroll, or maybe you just haven't been turned down by your bank, which most people are, 80% of them, small businesses are. If you're looking for something that doesn't require a collateral, but you'd like to get some type of funding over the next weeks or months, we can do it. And if you just do something like that with each and every one of these, you may only get one out of those 36 that say yes, but that's a lead. And then, of course, if you're using your phone the proper way, when you're riding around and you see these wraps on these cars or billboards or whatever, you can call and do exactly the same thing with your script. You just basically take a picture of the quality roofing, and you call them and say, hey, listen, I'm riding down the road, and I just noticed that your quality roofing wrap on your truck, and I saw the phone number. I just wanted to call and let you know that man, that first of all, it's a beautiful wrap. But do you guys work in the low country? Do you go over to Clemson or over to Spartanburg or down to Malden? Do you work all these areas? I'm just asking because I got friends all over, and I'm just going to tell them a little bit about, especially with all that's happened lately, all the different wind and water and destruction. I was just going to tell them a little bit about what you guys are doing, if that's okay. And oh, by the way, my name is Wade. I'm the funding director for all this area for small business people. If you ever just, we know the banks only are funding about 20% of the small business people that need funding. But if you have a great idea, or you have a project and you need inventory for it, or maybe you just need to get payroll done this week, we can help, and usually you can get funded the same day. We don't care a whole lot about the credit score as long as you got a 500 FICO. These are not personal loans to you. These are advances on your business. Just let us know and keep my number, and I'm going to go ahead and email you the information and text it to you. What's your email address so I can give you my information? And again, it's okay with you, I guess, if I go ahead and tell other people about this. You can do the same thing by going into Lowe's parking lot or Home Depot. I talk about this each and every time I can, and most people are not doing these kind of small things. They're not going through and trying to locate these kind of clients. They're depending on if you're depending on your online marketing only, you're probably not even really in this industry. But construction, restaurants, retail, all these are your 10 best industries that you need to be working in. And if you're not working in these industries, then shame on you. You need to start doing that. And I talk about construction all the time because it includes plumbers, electricians, pavers, home builders, that sort of thing. So spend some time looking at this list. It's in your agent resource center under all your different marketing materials and that sort of thing. Right now is a great time to be talking to construction, restaurants, that sort of thing. There's a lot of expansion happening out there. And finally, I'll just say this: as far as landscaping, we're getting toward the end of the summer, so I would be jumping on as many of these people as I can to see if we're going to be able to help them. And let me go ahead and stop recording. So you got to do the bare minimum. If you're not doing the bare minimum, I'm not even sure why you're even listening to what I have to say every week, because the bare minimum of texting, emailing, using these Connect cards. I mean, David came down and he saw I got Connect cards everywhere that I pass out, and I've got them for everything. Right now, a big hot item that you really need to get involved in is merchant services, payment processing, and you can talk about funding and payment processing. You can do all this at the same time. So if anybody has any questions about anything related to funding, I'll be glad to take your question.
Looks like we have Sasha Watson. You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, thank you for taking my question. I just have a question about acquisition of a business. Are we able to help someone wanting to acquire a business, or do they already have to be established?
If you're gonna, if they're gonna, they need the money to acquire a business, then they're gonna have to use, they either gotta have their own business with revenue that we can use, because we're all revenue based. If they're gonna be using the revenue from the other business, then the owners of that current business that they're trying to go after to purchase they're gonna have to sign on the application too.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And kind of specifically, if it is something like a realtor that works in the land acquisition department, is that something that we can handle, or is that not in our wheelhouse?
Probably not. Probably
Okay.
not.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Any other questions?
Matt Dehame, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, buddy.
Yes.
So I just want to clarify for everybody listening here what Wade was doing, which is something that is very wise, and it's almost essential if you want to have a conversation with a business owner lately, because they're abused. What he's doing is he's talking about them. He's getting their guard. The guard comes down when you talk about them and their business and their needs. Now they're willing to listen to what you have to say. Otherwise, the wall goes up. You're wasting your time and your breath and your energy and your time, and they'll never want to talk to you again. He's going through the Val Pack. He's going through the thing, the wraps, the truck wraps. Okay, you've got the contact. Here's why I'm calling, and you're doing that. The purpose of my call. Hey, I saw you. It's called the subordinate approach. What he's doing is what's necessary nowadays because of the abuse. So you have to do that. You have to do a subordinate. Hey, by the way, I'm calling. I saw your business. And do you guys do this? He's directing them back to them. Why are you calling me? Because I saw your business and I may have a prospect for you. Now, I do this on a business to business platform called Alignable. If anybody's familiar with it, I discovered it. I don't like Facebook. I don't, but I like this, because businesses are kind of networking and referring people and genuinely doing it. So if you really have an interest, hey, listen, I may have a client for you. Do you do Spartanburg? Are you in the Greenville area? Because like you said, low country, because it's the area I live here, associating, I'm from here, and I may be able to send you some customers. And by the way, I happen to be, there's a subordinate, the regional director of funding for David Allen Capital in the Northeast area right here in New Jersey. So if you ever know, if you actually happen to need funding, or if you know another business that occasionally needs funds and it's or in a pinch or whatever, so you're doing that subordinate thing. It's simple and fast. Here's the bullet points. And would it be okay if I just shoot you my website for you to save for if or when you might need this? That's it. You're done. And now he's like, all right, yeah, I'd be willing to look at this guy's stuff, because he just kind of opened my eyes. Like maybe he's going to send me some business. So it's a two-way street. Is what I'm trying to say. And you got to approach them. Like Wade said, this is an excellent training. Very good. He reminded me of what I'm not doing, which is not talking about them enough, their business. How you doing? Are you guys able to handle it? Blah, 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 with all this and that. And by the way, which is called the subordinate, you're now talking about, oh, why, by the way, I happen to be this. And, you're not overly important. You're just, well, this is what I do. And you may need me, you may not. But would it be okay if I send you my information just in case you do? Is basically what you're doing. That's it. And it's an excellent marketing tactic, if you will, or strategy. And I'm going to employ it today. So I suggest everybody who's on the ground in one of the 50 states where there's Home Depots, where these Lowe's, get your damn cell phone out. I've got a camera full of them. I've called them all. I'll call them back again. I've gotten, Wade knows, many customers from that. And I visit there once a year. I didn't even get there this year. But man, if I was, I'd have 200 pictures of trucks in my phone. I'd be calling them and just say, hey, now the different approach is necessarily, hey, I saw you at the Home Depot. I do this. Well, do you do a little research? So the word is diligent. So research the company. So rather than just calling them because I have the picture, I'm going to go online. I'm going to look up the company. Are they legit? Right? Because a lot of these guys are just, they're doing on the side and they have a truck with a number on it. Or are they legit? So do a little background, get the owner's name. if you can. And Nick does that well because now you're personable. It's more personal. Hey, is this Jim the owner? Yeah. Oh, I saw your truck. How did he doesn't know that you don't know his name, but now you've lowered their guard, and this is what he's doing, and this is what you need to do. We all need to do this. They have to drop their guard. Their guard is up. Everybody is definitely critical about being taken advantage of. That's a natural human thing, and you can't blame them. I understand it. But to lower their resistance and their guard, talk about them, take a genuine interest in what they're doing, and also, oh, by the way, this is what I do, and I might be able to help you at the end of the conversation. That's how it is. Awesome. That's it. I'm doing it. I'm doing that.
Excellent. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it, man. That was great. That was real good. All right. Nobody else. So, you guys have a great rest of the week, and keep praying for those people in that were affected by this Helene hurricane, and now Milton is bearing down on Florida. Just keep your prayers for safety and